Hi folks, welcome to today's Kendo rant. I've got a big handful of questions today to get through, so let's get straight into them. I'm going to start off with some of the questions that have been left on the KendoStar blog page. I think we've had some great ones there. The first one says, I have a question for you. I'm in Nidan, who just moved across the country. Just move the camera back, you don't want such a close-up. I'm in Nidan, who just moved across the country to a city without a Kendo club. The nearest one is 2 hours away and I don't have a relationship with them yet. Can try and start a club here, and what would be the most appropriate way, respectful way for me to do so? Right, here's the first thing you want to do, mate, is definitely go about starting a club. You know, if you've got Nidan already, then there's no reason why you can't start getting people together and taking them through the basics, and then you'll have someone to practice with. So definitely think it's a good idea. Get in touch with the federation. That's the first thing you want to do. Get in touch with the federation, ask their advice, and also get in touch with this other club that's 2 hours away. Like you say, you don't have a relationship with them yet, but you definitely need to build one, all right? Because they're going to be really important for your club. Hopefully, you know, maybe you could even become a little bit of a satellite club for them. You know, you might have people that would be willing to come over and help you out every now and again. I know 2 hours is a long way, but it's not massively long. It's not undoable for sort of once a couple of months or something like that. So it certainly is something you want to do. So get in touch with Federation and get in touch with the other club as well. I definitely think that's the first steps you want to take. And other than that, good luck with it. Okay, let me just have a quick look at this next one. The next one says, it's a comment on one of the videos that I posted on the Kendo blog. It says, you mentioned something that I want to ask. Since the Ippon Reel and Clash of the Titans videos, obviously when you post these videos, you want to bring something to our attention. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The KendoStar blog, I'm kind of finding various videos from around YouTube and what have you, and just sticking them up there so that you guys can see them with a little bit of an introduction as to what they are. It says, you want us to learn from those videos. Can you guide us what to watch? Like, notice X seconds before attacking, how the Kenshi starts moving this way to bring his opponent to a situation. We have to learn from watching, but we also have to learn how to watch. Yeah, no, I totally appreciate that, mate. I definitely agree. It would be great if I was able to do that, sort of point specific areas of the video that you can watch. I will make a bit of an effort to do that, but I'll be honest with you, it's actually really difficult for me because it's something I'm quite pressed for time to do. The reason I'm able to throw those videos up there is because literally I'm kind of just chucking them into the blog there and putting them straight up. And you know, I am quite busy, so I would love to sort of spend more time on putting the sort of instructional text in there. And if I can, I will do so. But I can't really make any promises just as yet. Okay, so that's that one. Let's have another one. There's another question here. I've got to sift through the spam. We get quite a lot of spam trying to get me to buy tablets. Anyway, all sorts of weird medication. Anyway, this one is in response to when I talked about left-handed Kendo or reverse Chudan. It's thank you for the video. I actually had this question about reverse Chudan that I tried. As I have a long-term injury in my left elbow from a bike accident, and it relieves me to do reverse Chudan. It also relieves my left hip. I once asked the Japanese 7th Dan in Paris, who told that I could do it after a few years of practice. Anyway, good to know that it was not forbidden. Maybe just tolerated as side practice while keeping the regular Chudan for main practice in order to avoid worsening my injury, ? Yeah, I mean, like I said in the video, it's certainly not prohibited. It's not a super great idea from a tactical point of view, but if you've got an injury and your teachers are happy for you to do so and carry on practicing that way, then yeah, that's fine. You go ahead and do that if it makes you feel better, and you're not impacting the people around you too much. Okay, great. Next, some of the comments on the previous videos. Let's have a quick look now. Right, now I really like some of the questions we've got on the videos. Let's have a look here. Let's hit some of the smaller ones. Right. question. After changing jobs, I haven't been to my dojo in over a year now or really kept in touch. Would it be rude to go back there to practice now? No, it's not rude at all. Get in touch with them. Go down there and just explain to say, look, I'm sorry I changed jobs. Sorry I haven't been able to get down here, but I've changed jobs. I've been really busy. Haven't been able to make it, but I'd really like to get back into training. And I'm sure that they will welcome you with open arms. There's no way they're going to be like, hey, what are you doing coming back here after you didn't come here for you? No way they're going to do that. They're going to be very happy to have you. I'm very sure of that. If it was my dojo, you'd be more than welcome to come. Obviously, life happens outside the dojo. That's something that's out of your control. Just get in touch with them. Just send them an email or whatever. If they've got a Facebook or something, send them an email and just say, oh, look, guys, I know I haven't been there. I had to change jobs. Things have been difficult, but now I want to get back to practice. Is it okay for me to come down this week or whatever? And get yourself down there. Yeah. If you don't have contact details, just go. Just turn up at their practice times. They're not going to turn you away. I'm absolutely sure of it. They certainly shouldn't be doing so. All right. Next one. Right. Hi, Andy. Thanks a lot for sharing the knowledge. Thank you. One question. I'm now approaching to take the Godan grading about a year from now. What should I focus on during the practice? What are the requirements to grow from Yondan? I moved last year to the UK, and in the club I joined, the instructor is Sandan and wasn't able to get to really suggest a direction. Okay, right. This is a great one. Okay, the gap between Yondan and Godan. It's not as big actually. It's not as big as some of the other gaps. The biggest gaps in gradings are between third dan and fourth dan. That's the first big gap. Then the next one is between fifth dan and sixth dan, and then between seventh dan and eighth dan. Okay, that's not to say there isn't a gap between the others. There is, but they're the sort of big gaps. Okay, so essentially, what you're going to need to do for for Godan, is much like what you have to do for Yondan. Yondan, Godan, it's now you're having to show that you have an understanding of the principles of when and why you are attacking, a concept called DI, and also having some sort of concept of semi. Up to Sandan, it's generally it's more about your actual physical technical ability, but once you get into Yondan, you're looking at things like semi, opportunity, DI, that sort of thing, and Godan is a kind of extension of that. All right, so what you really want to be doing is you want to show that what you are, your sort of Kendo has become is an improvement over what would be expected for the Yondan grade. So more than just a little bit of sort of basic semi or basic DI, and kind of showing really that there's purpose or intention behind the attacks that you're making. So in terms of your everyday practice, what you need to make sure you're doing is when you're getting into your Jigeko, it doesn't matter who it's with, even if it's with junior people, you need to really make sure that you're not hitting for the sake of hitting. I think this is where lots of people fall in terms of that level, fourth dan, fifth dan level. I think lots of people fall because they start to, they're still stuck in that mode of attacking randomly. Right. What's really important, especially at sort of fourth dan, fifth dan, sixth dan level, as far as I understand it, is you can't be doing Kendo by yourself. Right. You're not just doing Kendo by yourself. So that means that when you're facing with your opponent, you're not thinking, oh, I want to hit men, I'll hit men. Oh, I want to hit kote, I'll hit kote. Oh, I want to try this waza, I'll do that waza. All right, that isn't how it's supposed to be. Yeah, you have to start from the beginning. Okay, this is my opponent. This is a situation. This is how they move when I move in this direction. This is how they move when I move in that direction. I can create an opportunity for this if I move in this way. Okay, or perhaps they will attack me if I move in another way. And you have to start thinking about what happens beforehand. All right, so. You have to start showing that you are watching what your opponent is doing. You are, to some extent, I wouldn't go as far as saying controlling what your opponent's doing, but you're having an influence on their actions, and you're consciously doing so. Okay, so that means that if you want to hit, I mean, the best thing to do is, you know, you want to be working hard on your debana waza, especially your debana men. Which incidentally, I've just done a video about debana waza, and it's in early access right now. So you can go and watch my tips on debana waza right now on the latest episode of the Kendo Show, which is in the early access group, and it'll be live on YouTube on Saturday, which is the 25th. Okay, so I have talked about that. But basically, you want to be working on that in your own keiko, doing your debana waza, making sure that everything is coming from you and not just reacting to what your opponent's movements are. If you want to do waza like kaishido, you don't want to wait for them to attack and then when they attack, block. You have to make them attack so that when they attack, you're already kind of in the mode of it. You know, it's kind of your attack. Yeah, it's not just a response to their attack. Try, like I say, try to sharpen up that debana waza. It's one thing that I think doesn't help people in gradings, especially higher level, and you might disagree with me on this, feel free to, but I don't think it helps people when their first attack in the grading is men kaishido, right? It's pretty much obvious that somebody that's trying for the grading is going to come from men first, and lots of people sort of sit there waiting and then do that sort of responsive kaishido. I don't think that works super well. If you watch a sort of 5th dan or 6th dan grading in Japan, 90%, probably more, of the first attacks from both sides is I men. It's a attack. Both of them attack men. One side's sometimes successful, sometimes the other is, sometimes both of them aren't. Doesn't matter about that, but they aren't trying to kind of trick the other person. All right, so it's definitely possible for you to work on by yourself. You don't need to, you know, worry that the club leader is a lower grade than you. But I think you need to be sharpening up that debana waza. And like I say, you want to be thinking about how your kendo is impacting the movements of your opponent and not just doing kendo by yourself. Okay, next one. Okay, this is cool. This is in response to my comments on ski yesterday. I knew they would be controversial. Okay, so I actually saw with my own eyes a dojo mate getting hurt badly and sent to the hospital with a ski and a brutal and careless opponent in the competition. Okay, so this is in response to me saying yesterday that I'd never seen anyone get seriously injured with ski. All right, the description goes on to say it happens like this. The girl was about 1.6 meters tall and 55 kilos. The guy is about 1.8 meters and 8 kilos. The girl goes for men. The guy sees that she's coming for men and decides to do morote two-handed ski. He misses. He catches the girl full speed on the side of the neck without easing his grip. The girl loses her shinai, turns around, passes out and falls face first, flat out with her men banging on the floor, the mask banging on the floor. The girl goes to hospital emergency unit with a 10-centimeter bruise to the side of her neck and spends the next 8 hours doing x-ray, scanner and under observation. What shocked me most is the referees didn't give hansoku, and as my dojo mate had to go to the hospital emergency unit, the idiot Kenshi got rewarded winning the match by hurting his opponent. Now these aren't my words, right? These are the comments on the thingy, so I'm not suggesting that anyone's an idiot here. But anyway, referees have a huge impact on Kenshi's behaviour, and I believe uncontrolled, unnecessary brutality should not be accepted in any way on the shiaijo. Right, this is cool in terms of the subject, all right? Obviously, what happened is not cool. Let me clear that up straight away. Okay, so what you saw is, okay, so you've seen somebody get hurt as a result of ski. It depends. I didn't see it happen, so I can't comment exactly on what happened. The way you described it sounds a little bit like it was similar to Mukaide ski, which is what I mentioned about yesterday, which is hansoku, but considering the Shinpan didn't judge it that, perhaps that's not the case. Maybe he was maybe the guy himself was mistaken about when is an appropriate time to do ski. Yeah, I mean, okay. This might be controversial, all right, but yeah, okay. So she got knocked over. She had to go to hospital. She had a big bruise. Had X-rays and stuff. That's obviously very unpleasant, very uncomfortable. Not very nice. Not very nice at all. I think that same level of thing could happen from any other waza almost. It certainly could happen from a missed door strike though. You could, like I say, you could crack your ribs and all sorts. It sounds like the problem here is there was an issue in terms of momentum. So I'm still reluctant to say that tsuki is a dangerous waza, because we have an example here where someone was sort of knocked out when somebody decided to do it. You know, it's like in some way, you know, if somebody's got their back to you or their head bent over like this and you hit men and you hit them clean on the unarmored part, then they get injured. It doesn't mean that men is a dangerous waza, right? It just means that the person doing men was selecting the really inappropriate time to do men that resulted in someone's injury. So yeah, obviously that situation sounds horrific. It doesn't sound very nice at all. I didn't see it, so I can't really comment as to what the situation is in terms of hansoku. If it was mukaitsuki, now mukaitsuki really has to be an obvious, deliberate attempt to foil somebody's men waza, which you do allude to, but also by thrusting from below. If it was that, then and the referees decided that was correct, then indeed that would be hansoku for the person doing that. But it sounds like they didn't deem it that way, so it's not. Now the rules don't otherwise govern unless they can really deliberate that what that guy did was intentionally done to injure that girl. Then unfortunately there's no grounds for them to give him hansoku, like I said, unless he did what is, you know, mukaizuki. But like you say, they obviously didn't judge it to be the case. But by doing any waza that injures somebody else, unless you can kind of argue or deem that it was definitely intentional with the purpose of injuring somebody, then actually there isn't currently grounds in the rules as they stand to award hansoku for that. Whether that's right or wrong, don't know. Sounds very unfortunate. I do think that may change. Obviously, there was a very kind of public injury that happened at the European Championships last year, based off the tayatari being, it's not really tayatari, but a push kind of upwards from below against somebody whose arms were up and the person going over and hitting the head. I think they will be becoming stricter on that sort of thing, because pushing from below upwards over someone whose arms up is quite, it follows quite obviously that that could cause injury, and I think they're going to start being stricter on that sort of thing. So it may well be that sort of play becomes more regulated as we go forward. I'm sure it will. But yeah, it's obviously it's very very you know, very unfortunate to hear about that story. But thank you for sharing. Right, last one. What can I do against people who are so close? Always so close, especially the tall people in my dojo tend to be so ridiculously close in my eye. They should be at disadvantage, but they aren't. Blocking my strikes all the time, which looks like to be easier when being so close. It's between chika and isoku ito no mai. Please come give some advice. I'm frustrated. Okay, cool. Right. Number one, tall people are not at a disadvantage by being at a close mai. Absolutely not. They can choose how far they step. I think that's a myth to say that they're at a disadvantage at being at close mai. Anyway, yes, it's probably easier for them to block, and it can be harder for you to attack, because from a closer mai, if the closer you are, if I'm here, if we're this far apart and I only have to lift this much to get over the shinai. Okay, either way. But if we're now here, I have to lift all the way up here to get over the shinai. Okay, so that means that there's more time for the opponent to notice that you're attacking. So yes, it's easier to block. Definitely, it is. However, there's an answer, right? Get onto YouTube, search the Kendo show how to beat a blocker, because I did a video all about how to beat blocking people, and it will work, okay? Especially against people that stand really, really close. Yeah, especially what tends to happen, people that stand really close, they tend to have the tendency to kind of get close, and they tend to lift their arms in this way, this kind of blocking, or even this kind of blocking. Yeah, they don't tend to have the kind of forward type blocking. If that close, they tend to lift the shinai up this way. There's loads of options you can do on that, all of which are covered in that video. So go and watch that video. I definitely think it'll be helpful. You cannot block all targets in Kendo. All right, it's impossible to cover all bases. Yeah, if you block somewhere, you're leaving somewhere else exposed. So all you've got to do is figure out where it is that they're exposing when they're blocking. All right, and then you'll have a route to attack. All right, so that's that. Like I said earlier in the video, I've just released a new episode of the Kendo Show. It's in early access, which is in the early access Kendo Show group. It's on Facebook. There's a link down below. Make sure you get into that. You'll be able to watch that episode early before anybody else, before its general launch on Saturday the 25th. Just looking at the calendar there. So yeah, before Saturday the 25th. It's all about Dabano Waza. It's a great episode. I really enjoyed making it. I'm sure you're going to love it. So go and check that out. Lastly, I think you know what's coming. Go and shop at KendoStar, because that's what we're all about. We've got a little logo here, KendoStar. Yeah, go and shop at KendoStar. All right, because it's dead awesome. It's dead awesome stuff. It's all really good gear. It's dead comfortable, protective, and I run it. So it's keeping me in business and keeping me bringing these videos to you. All right, so if you like what I'm doing, shop at KendoStar. Right, that's it for today, and I'll leave me a comment. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about next time. I almost forgot to say that. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about, and I'll see you next time. Bye.